Hi everyone, welcome back to Glow.rom YouTube channel. This is the video that we are going to discuss about what is the element and what is the in the element, what are all the layer that we are going to use and what is the layer name. So that thing only in this video that we are going to discuss about. Before getting to this video, kindly subscribe and there is a bell icon button. Don't forget to press that one so that our future video will come to your mobile. And then do like. So let's get into this video. The first point that we are going to talk about, what is the element. So element already we have discussed in the previous video. From the raft or else basement or else foundation that we always used to call the basement or foundation. So that is the one element that we have discussed before. And from the basement we have discussed three pit we need to consider. One is core wall pit, another one is the stair wall pit, and another one tower crane pit. Tower crane, you know well that the pouring concrete is useful for us to go further. And the another detail, what is the element that we are going to discuss in this video. From the raft we need to consider some of the starter. Starter meaning what is the vertical bar that we are going to consider for the whole building before we are providing the small starter. Starter, it is used to connect the rebar from one area to another area in vertical position. So what are all the vertical rebar that we are going to provide in the smaller distance, that we used to call starter. Or else from the basement or the rebar that going to produce newly. So that is the name we called starter. For example, one column from the basement it going to provide, we are going to provide the column from basement to further floor, and that is the rebar from the basement, rebar called starter. And if that same column or different column that we are going to provide from the another floor, and it started from another floor, for example second floor or third floor, there is a new column that we are going to introduce the new bar, that rebar also we used to call starter. Starter, it's not only comes from the basement, wherever the new rebar that we are going to provide for the connectivity for the another rebar, so that rebar we used to call starter. And one more thing that we are going to discuss in this, column starter will be there and another wall starter. When we are going to discuss about the wall starter, there is two types of wall we need to discuss. One wall type, it's a retaining wall type, another is normal wall type, and another one is water tank. Around the water tank there is one wall will continue, that is the name we used to call holding tank or else water tank. That both name we can call in a professional manner. So holding tank or else water tank, that we used to call one type of wall. The another wall that we always used to say retaining wall. Retaining wall, you people obviously come to know that around the building we used to provide that retaining wall. The third type, it's a normal wall. In the normal wall there is a different types of wall we need to consider. One is the core wall, another one is the shear wall, and there is a stair wall also. So these are all comes under normal wall. Normal wall, shear wall, and core wall, and stair wall. So these are all the wall that we always used to call the normal wall. So what is the difference between normal wall and water tank wall and holding tank wall? So before we are getting into this video, getting about the what are all the layer, these are all the points that we need to discuss before we enter. So that is easy for us to understand, and we can't able to provide the different video for that purpose only, because that is a small information we always keep in our mind. And now I'm going to discuss about what is the retaining wall. Retaining wall, it's around the wall, and there is a vertical bar, starter will be there and continue bar will be there. And what are all the holding bar that we used to call horizontal bar. Vertical bar, it will come from the footing. Around the building, retaining wall comes from the footing, and there is a starter bar we need to consider. Holding the vertical bar, there is a horizontal bar we need to provide. If something from the structural design, they ask us to go for the shear link, we need to provide the shear link, or inner link they ask us to go for us to hold other vertical bar. So in that time we need to consider these are all the layer in the vertical bar. These are all the layer that we need to consider in the retaining wall. Another thing, what is the water tank wall? That is also the same. From the raft we need to consider the vertical bar, and what are all the things that the holding vertical bar we called horizontal bar. So in the horizontal bar there is a small shear link from the structural design. If they ask us to go for us to detail, in that time only we need to provide for the shear link in the wall area or inner links for the wall area. Until we should not provide, otherwise we will go further. Vertical bar and horizontal bar is enough for us to provide in the wall areas or else retaining wall area in the water tank wall area. What is the difference between water tank wall and the normal wall? If we are going to discuss about water tank and retaining wall, it's directly contact with the nature or else water or else air or else sunlight. So these are all the things that we need to consider for the normal wall and other water tank wall. So water tank wall, it's always contact with the water. So that now we are going to provide the vertical bar outer area, and vertical bar we need to consider the larger dia. We need to consider vertical bar outer layer and horizontal bar inner layer. If it's a normal bar, we are going to discuss about vertical bar inner layer and horizontal bar outer layer. So this is the normal condition. Why we are providing the behind reason? This is the one, because retaining wall and water tank wall is those are all contact with the nature and water and ground, and there is a sunlight directly. So that reason we need to provide larger diameter. Larger diameter, whenever we are going to see in the wall, there is a vertical bar. So vertical bar has a more larger diameter when compared to the horizontal bar. So that reason only, those are all the structure, it's contact with the nature or else sunlight. We are going to provide the vertical bar outer layer and horizontal bar inner layer. The same opposite, what is the inner wall that we have discussed? Vertical bar inner layer and horizontal bar outer layer. This is the normal discussion we used to always keep in our mind in the rebar detailing. And what is the layer that we need to cover? From the raft, we have discussed raft previous video. From the raft, there is a starter element should be there. One is the column, another one is the wall area. Wall we have discussed. Column, we need to consider what are the layer, vertical bar, and another one is links. So these are the two layers that we need to always keep in our mind when we are going to touch the column detailing. And another thing, wall. Wall, there is a vertical bar and horizontal bar will be there. Instead of links, when we are discuss about the column, there is a links we should always remember. In the wall, we should always remember vertical bar and the horizontal bar. There is a horizontal bar should lap in different position. It's based on the structural design, what they have provided in previous. So we need to get the information from the structural design. What is the type of lap that they ask us to go for it, we need to go for. So this is the information that we got from this video, and the future video what we are going to discuss about, there is a lot of information from the code book. So that is the information only we are going to discuss in the future video. Until bye.